Good morning, class. Hope everyone's doing well. Just wanted to post a quick video about, I just finished posting grades from lesson 6 on motivation. If you remember from last week, our discussion was what energizes you into action. And overall, I was very, very impressed with the class responses. A lot of the feedback that I'm offering you in the grading rubrics and in the videos that I've done, you're really taking to heart and you're really applying that material that I'm giving you. And it's great because I've seen a steadily increase in grades. You're earning more and more points for these little, minute points that I'm looking for, which has been great. So, for the discussion on what energized you into action, just a couple things that I noted that I wanted just to bring to the class's attention. And I mentioned this to several of you in your grading rubrics, but just kind of an overall reminder for the class. Everybody's different kind of how they look at these things, but I'm big on citations. I love it when students take the time to really, cite multiple examples. Even though the grading rubric only requires one, I love to see on a discussion 2 at a minimum, and really 3, 4, or 5 is ideal for me. So really take the time to not just quote the stuff from that week, but also bring in outside sources. Several of you have already started doing that, whether that's a YouTube video, a TED Talk, or some other articles. Several of you have really started doing that, and I've definitely noticed, and I definitely reward you for that. And with your citations, what I've noticed a lot of students doing is, you'll have your initial post and you might do 2, maybe even 3 or 4 citations in your initial post, which is awesome. But then when you do your classmate response, there's nothing. It's just a few short sentences and then there's no citation. I really encourage you and really almost recommend that with every time you do a classmate post, that you include at least 1 citation with your classmate post. And then really with the classmate responses, what I'm really looking for is, respond to what they say and then add your own personal experience or your own personal feedback to what they say. And if you can tie it to that week's material, so like last week, motivation theory, what energizes you into action, that really is a solid, you'll get 10 out of 10 every time if you can kind of follow those direct points. So just some things I wanted to point out to you, but make sure with your citations that you're also citing each time you post a response to your classmates. So that's really the biggest feedback I have for this week as it relates to your overall grades for the discussions. Your discussion posts are getting better and better. You're adding a lot more detail, a lot more analysis, and you're really breaking down that week's material, which is awesome. So. And then moving into this week, lesson 7 on a distress and eustress essay. Again, make sure just a couple quick tips. Make sure that you're adding those citations that we've talked about previously, and then really beef up your discussion with those and break down the analysis. And the more personal experiences that you have, the better, because that's what I can read all about distress and eustress as much as I want, but I'm really interested when I read your papers about your experiences, what you've done in your work life, your personal life, whatever it is you want to discuss, and how that relates to that discussion. Add as much beef and detail as that as you can. That's what I'm really looking for when I'm grading. So just a couple of quick tips. One final point, there's still several of you who have missing assignments, for whatever reason, you got busy at work, you got sick, life happens, and I get it. So if you have any assignments that you currently have a 0 for and you would like to make those assignments up, please let me know as soon as possible so I can work with you to get those caught up. Because again, I don't want anybody to have any zeros in your on a grade. It really hurts your overall grade point average. So if you have any zeros that you'd like to discuss, just let me know and we can go from there. So thanks again, everyone, and I look forward to this weekend reading your distress and eustress essays. Thanks again.